Immigration and Customs Enforcement is providing more details following the arrest of 24 immigrants we first learned about last week. ICE agents arrested 24 people in Bellefonte last week, including who they say are a suspected MS-13 gang member and a convicted felon.
When ICE and FBI agents coordinate a joint operation in small-town Pennsylvania, you know they're not chasing minor violations. 24 arrests, multiple violent felons, a suspected MS-13 homicide suspect, all operating from what appeared to be a quiet community near Interstate 99. This is what happens when America's most dangerous gang members think they can hide in plain sight. Federal agents don't just find them, they dismantle their entire support network in one coordinated strike. Watch until the end because I'm going to reveal the shocking criminal histories of these 24 individuals, show you exactly how this MS-13 pipeline was operating, and explain why this raid sends a clear message to every gang member thinking they can use American communities as their sanctuary. On August 19, 2025, in the early morning hours, residents of Bellefonte, Pennsylvania, woke to the sound of tactical teams moving in on multiple locations. What appeared to be routine traffic stops quickly escalated into a coordinated federal operation spanning multiple locations. This operation began weeks earlier when ICE investigators identified suspicious activity connected to a location near Interstate 99.
Among those arrests, ICE officers say were Oscar Alexis Martinez Lopez and Delphin Amaya Perez. They say Martinez Lopez is in the country illegally and a suspected MS-13 gang member.
What started as surveillance on a single suspected MS-13 member expanded into something much larger. Oscar Alexis Martinez Lopez wasn't just any immigration violator. Salvadoran authorities had already linked him to homicide charges in his home country, and his tattoos and associates confirmed what intelligence already suggested: direct membership in MS-13, one of the most violent transnational gangs in the Western Hemisphere. But Martinez Lopez wasn't alone. The network around him included Delphin Amaya Perez, a Honduran national with multiple convictions for violent crimes, including assault and resisting arrest dating back to 2011. The stakes were clear. An MS-13 pipeline was establishing itself in central Pennsylvania, using rural communities as cover for their operations. Before I show you exactly how federal agents took down this network, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss these critical operations happening across America. MS-13 isn't just another gang. Founded in Los Angeles in the 1980s, it spread throughout Central America during deportations in the 1990s. Today, it operates across at least 40 U.S. states with an estimated 10,000 members. Their motto, Mata, Viola, Controla, kill, rape, control, isn't just words. It's their operational doctrine. The Bellefonte operation wasn't random. It came after weeks of meticulous intelligence gathering by ICE's Enforcement and Removal Operations Philadelphia Field Office, working in coordination with FBI Gang Task Force specialists. ERO Philadelphia Field Office Director Brian McShane stated clearly, ICE is focusing on the worst first through targeted enforcement. This operation exemplified that approach. On the morning of August 19th, multiple federal teams positioned themselves around Bellefonte. Instead of storming the suspected Safehouse directly, they implemented a brilliant tactical approach. Agents established surveillance positions along Interstate 99 and waited. As targets left the premises, officers coordinated with local law enforcement to initiate traffic stops at strategic points away from the main location. This approach minimized risk to the community while maximizing operational security. The evidence recovered during these stops was immediate and damning. Multiple forms of false identification, communication devices linking targets to MS-13 clicks in El Salvador, cash believed to be connected to extortion operations. By the operation's conclusion, 24 individuals were in custody, including 7 with final orders of removal already in place.
There was somebody who was apprehended, and that individual was going to be released because of the cashless bail.
4 whose removal orders had been reinstated, 4 previously expelled under Title 42, 2 with violent criminal histories in both the U.S. and abroad. But the most significant arrest was Oscar Alexis Martinez Lopez. His tattoos, communication records, and intelligence reports from Salvadoran authorities confirmed his status as an MS-13 gang member connected to homicide investigations in El Salvador. The operation was executed with military precision, no shots fired, no civilians injured, no operational security compromised. This is what happens when ICE and FBI coordinate at the highest levels. The Bellefonte operation revealed something more disturbing than just immigration violations. It exposed an emerging pattern of MS-13 expansion into smaller American communities. Intelligence gathered from the 24 arrests revealed connections to at least 3 MS-13 cliques with direct ties back to El Salvador. These weren't random individuals. They were part of a structured network with hierarchy, roles, and operational security protocols. MS-13's expansion strategy is deliberate. After facing increased pressure in major urban areas, the gang has shifted to smaller communities where law enforcement presence is reduced, community awareness of gang identifiers is lower, housing and transportation costs are cheaper, movement between locations is less monitored. The Bellefonte location served multiple purposes: a waypoint for moving members between major East Coast cities, a recruiting ground targeting vulnerable youth, a logistics hub connecting to larger operations in Philadelphia, New York, and Boston, a safe location for members with active warrants or criminal histories. Digital evidence recovered during the operation revealed communications with MS-13 leadership structures in El Salvador. These weren't isolated criminals. They were an operational cell of a sophisticated transnational criminal organization. The most disturbing discovery was Martinez Lopez's role. Intelligence suggests he wasn't just hiding from homicide charges. He was deployed to Pennsylvania specifically to establish MS-13's presence in communities along the I-99 corridor. This follows MS-13's documented pattern of sending experienced members to new territories to establish local cliques, recruit new members, set up extortion operations targeting immigrant communities, create connections with drug distribution networks, intimidate potential witnesses and rivals. Forensic analysis of phones seized during the operation revealed connections to MS-13 operations in at least 5 states. What looked like 24 isolated individuals was actually a node in a sophisticated criminal network spanning international boundaries. The community impact cannot be overstated. Bellefonte residents had no idea that violent gang members with homicide charges were operating in their midst. These weren't just immigration violations. They were precursors to the violence, extortion, and criminal activity that inevitably follows MS-13's establishment in a community. ERO Philadelphia Field Office Director Brian McShane didn't mince words about the operation's significance. ICE has been empowered to vigorously search out, arrest, and remove anyone violating federal immigration law. This operation demonstrates the renewed commitment to targeting the most dangerous threats first. MS-13's expansion strategy depends on exploiting gaps in enforcement and awareness, gaps that operations like this are actively closing. All 24 individuals are now in ICE custody pending removal proceedings. Martinez Lopez faces potential extradition to El Salvador to face homicide charges. Amaya Perez, with his history of violent convictions, will be processed for expedited removal. The broader implications are clear. MS-13's attempt to establish operations in central Pennsylvania has been dismantled before it could take root. Intelligence gathered from this operation is already being shared with federal, state, and local partners to identify and target connected networks. This operation reflects a strategic shift in immigration enforcement priorities. Resources are being focused on criminal aliens, gang members, and security threats rather than random enforcement actions. The message to MS-13 and other transnational gangs is unambiguous. There are no safe havens in American communities. No town is too small for federal attention. No gang member is beyond the reach of coordinated law enforcement. For Bellefonte residents, this operation means their community is safer today than it was yesterday. Children can play in parks that might otherwise have become recruitment grounds. Local businesses are protected from the extortion that invariably follows MS-13's establishment. But the work isn't done. MS-13's adaptability means they will continue seeking new communities to infiltrate. Their strategy of moving from high enforcement areas to lower-profile locations requires constant vigilance from both authorities and citizens. FBI analysis suggests that for every MS-13 member identified, there are potentially 3 out of 5 associates or recruits connected to their operations. This means the 24 arrests in Bellefonte potentially disrupted a network that could have grown to over 100 gang-connected individuals in central Pennsylvania. The August 19th operation wasn't just about arrests. It was about preventing the violence, extortion, drug trafficking, and community intimidation that follows MS-13's establishment. It was about protecting American communities from a transnational threat that thrives on fear and violence. ERO Philadelphia and their federal partners have shown that no location is beyond their reach, no gang member is untraceable, and no community will be abandoned to transnational criminal threats. This is what happens when America's immigration enforcement authorities are empowered to target the worst threats first. Decisive action that makes communities safer, dismantles criminal networks, and sends a clear message that the rule of law will be enforced. For MS-13 and other transnational gangs attempting to establish footholds in American communities, the message couldn't be clearer. Federal authorities aren't just watching, they're acting, and no community, no matter how small, will be surrendered to criminal control. This is ICE Operations, bringing you the latest on America's fight against transnational gangs and criminal threats. Make sure you're subscribed so you never miss these critical updates on the operations keeping American communities safe.